He's an All-American first, and now
He's on 0 All-American teams.
no All-American teams.
He did not get to put on 1 All-American team. Not one. What are we doing? Oh, it's a butt kiss. That's when he got stuff for the butt kiss. Not 1 All-American team.
It is.
What is that about? Like, what are we doing?
It's the biggest snub I've seen in the past. You know what I mean? Like since I can't. Not that I've like document postseason award lists.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I cannot think of one that can be more debated than Damone Clark being left off of just about every team, and to look up and to find out that he's not on any team. It really is just for him. For him. It's a travesty. Like, that is a travesty. I mean, that is something that the fact that his senior season or his last year at LSU will not be rewarded for the type of player that he was, at least with just, like, hardware. Because I think that the draft, I mean, I saw some mock drafts that now have Clark, like, shooting up the draft board to a mid-first round to a late first-round pick.
Yeah.
And people are going to have their mind blown when he works out for them.
No doubt.
Like, he is going to test off of the charts. He's going to jump out the gym. He's going to be the fastest linebacker. He's going to test all of his open field ball skills, all that stuff. He is going to dominate.
No doubt.
And he is going to make somebody fall in love with him. And he's going to be a really rich guy. You know what I mean? Which I know is a good consolation prize for not getting the butt kiss and not being a first-team All-American.
Still, man.
But after he has all of his
Yeah.
money tucked away a decade from now and his life is good, his kids are all, you know, being educated at great spots, he's going to sit back and think about, I'd imagine, like, God, dog, did I get screwed my last year in college. I mean, the fact that he did not get recognized as one of the top players in college football is a crime. It really is. I mean, on some level, it feels illegal. I mean, it feels like that the fact that this cat is not decorated after the year that he's had feels criminal. I mean, it really does, because find me a better defensive player in college football this season than that guy. I mean, if he got his hands on you, you were going to the ground. He was for sure as a tackle as the sport had. He stayed healthy. He was a leader. He made a jump between last season and this year that anybody watching the game or says they watch the game at the rate that all these people that hand out the awards do can't respect. To me, that's the criminal part of it. Like, where he was last season to where he is now, that nobody stepped up and said, my God, look how much better Damone Clark has got at just playing football at this level.
Damone Clark is number 2 in the nation in tackles. In the nation.
And I think the majority of the season he led the nation.
Yep.
You know, like, I think for like the majority of it, he was number 1 in the country. And Rico Delgado says Will Anderson was better.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
He
but
didn't get the butt kiss
That
either.
doesn't matter. I mean, that doesn't. So what does that mean?
Find
you can
me
still put him on the
2 other players that were better than Damone Clark.
Yeah.
If Damone Clark's a top 5 defensive player in college football this season. Can we all agree on that? He's a top 5 defensive player. It'd be tough to go down a list of defensive players in college football and not to get to Damone Clark in the top 5. And for him not to be on not just one, every All-American team is a criminal. It is a crime. It really, I mean, it is a sports, football, college football crime.
I'm with you.
And
I don't understand. I don't understand how. I'm trying to pull up all these. It's just on the phone. It's a little hard, but I don't understand how you look at what he's done, especially on a defense that he was the one constant. I don't know how you look at that and say, you know what, this guy. If you make he made first team All SEC, didn't he?
Yes.
If you make a first team All SEC, shouldn't that make you an All American? It's the best conference in the country.
You would think so, but I mean, Mikey, it's one of those things. Like I saw where Fox Sports tried to compare the numbers of Bryce Young and Joe Burrow in their Heisman seasons. I mean, like it was one of those things. Like when you put them side by side, it was like, what are we doing? Like, what are you doing?
Where's the comparison?
Slow news day for Fox Sports.
Yeah, where's the comparison?
You're losing credibility. You know what I mean? Like this is laughable. I mean,
who had the better season? What it said, I think the thing was, what number 9 had the better season? And they put the numbers, and Bryce Young did not have one stat that was better than Joe Burrow. 400 yards less. Actually, not 400. 393 yards less passing. 5 touchdowns less. He has a loss. Joe Burrow didn't have a loss. Joe Burrow beat like 7 top 10 teams along that year. And they didn't even add the college playoffs. They made sure to put that asterisk at the bottom and say college football playoff not counted.
Yeah,
well,
not included.
Go ahead
if
and
you
count that.
Yeah, don't count him. He still has 5 touchdown passes more than Bryce Young. If you want to count him, he threw 12 in 2 games. Then let's talk about it. 12 touchdown passes in 2 games in college football with the Natty undefeated season. I don't care if Bryce Young throws 15 right now. He's not. It's not a better season.
My point is that is so easily debatable when you put those numbers side by side, Bryce Young by Joe Burrow. And to me, the Damone Clark conversation, when you put his numbers to just about everybody in college football, it's laughable that this guy is not on the list.
No doubt.
It is. I mean, I say it's laughable. It's laughable to us. But, I mean, like, think about if you're like Damone Clark's dad, uncle, brother, sister, aunt.
Uncle Al.
Think of your Damone Clark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, think of you like sitting there laying down thinking, man, what else do I have to do? Like,
look, as a player, man, you can, and people can say, oh, well, it doesn't matter. He's going to be a first rounder, and like awards, like it's fine. He knows how well. No, like as a player, you want to get recognized for what you did and for the hard work that you put in. I mean, look, I think it's been pretty well documented on his growth as a football player at LSU, right? Like he didn't really come into his own until really end of last year, this year. And it was a reward for him. Like, hey, I put in all this hard work. I stuck it out. I wasn't starting. I played behind all these really talented linebackers. And I finally got my opportunity, and I made the most of it, and I should be an All-American. And he's not. And that pisses me off for him.
yeah, it does. I mean, and like I said, he will have the last laugh. Damone Clark, make no mistake about it, will have the last laugh in April when he is drafted high in the first round, because I think people are going to look on film and he's going to test off the charts. And it only takes one.
Yep.
It only takes one general manager, one owner to fall in love with you. The Tim Tebow, the Jamarcus Russell stories. It only takes one. It only takes one Josh McDaniels. It only takes one Al Davis to say, that's my guy. I don't care if he's what people think about him. We're drafting him. And I don't think that Damone Clark's one of those players where you got to go like sell your soul to the organization and draft him. But he is going to be somebody that's going to make an elite jump up draft boards because his football talent is just too good to hide. You cannot hide how good of a player he is just by simply turning on the film, and you look at the film and you say, wow, is he that good? Let's go look at him in person. Let's fly down to Baton Rouge to his pro day, or let's go look at him in the combine and get a one-on-one interview with him, and then you leave there and you're like, holy shit.
I think the Senior Bowl is going to help him out a lot, too.
You know what's going to help him out a lot is the Polian connection, because Polian's always on the NFL Network for the Combine, and his son is now working for LSU, so he's going to have the inside track on a little Damone Clark knowledge, so he might be able to do a make good on his Lamar Jackson take.
And then he'll go to the Senior Bowl, and he'll have a really good Senior Bowl, and that'll help, too.
And a lot of people typing in and saying it's a popularity contest, and I get it. It is. It really
it
is.
benefited LSU with Grant Delpit.
It absolutely did. I mean, the 2019, all those awards were very much a who's who of the best team, and I get that.
It doesn't take the sting out of it, though.
It does not. It does not. I mean, the fact that you just don't recognize the numbers. If not, I mean, like if you're going to be a lazy sports writer who votes on these teams,
That's what I thought
you
we
should
were
just
getting.
skim down the
Look at
numbers.
the box
and you're
score.
like, man, I've never seen LSU play, but the numbers on this cat are incredible.
120 tackles.
I mean, I'm just going to put him on here just because the
Stats.
numbers say so.
I mean, I guess popularity contest, you could say it. LSU wasn't very good, right? Like you could say
Yeah, for sure.
the defense wasn't good at the beginning of the year.
That has to be the argument.
that's when
that has to
everybody-
be the deal, right?
That's when everybody was watching LSU, too. There's national games early on. I'm sure that left a taste in their mouth. We're
Yeah,
like,
but
oh,
what
never
should
mind.
make it even more impressive? Like, LSU wasn't good. Their defense wasn't good. And this guy, no matter how bad or how good they were, this guy was in the middle of everything. He outperformed
Everybody
the way
around him.
Exactly. And that, to me, shows, hey, this guy's an All-American because no matter how good – he's not a front runner. They weren't good. He never, ever, ever took a playoff. He played his ass off. He made all these tackles. He was one of the best linebackers in the SEC, which is evident by the first team All SEC selection he has. And I don't understand how do you have a guy on the first team All SEC and he's not any All-American?
Not on the third team.
I don't get that.